la vie at the V. It's the kind of show you really want to see. À la vie at the V. It's the program that's so helpful at the V. You can play cards all day, but to keep informed, there's really just one way. For the news at 5:90, turn to Susan and Shirley. À la vie at the V.
Hi, I'm Susan Shovers.
And I'm Sherry Schaefer.
And this is All of E, all the news and views that you can use.
And today we have a guest host with us.
We do, and we're so delighted.
Happy to introduce you to Gladys Mizrahi, author, entrepreneur, volunteer, radio host. She does it all, and you will certainly learn a lot by listening to us today.
And we have great news.
Yes, we do.
We are opening up today, this very day.
Yes,
we are
it is.
returning to normal.
Dinners will be served again. So
in the
so
dining room.
Mm-hmm.
The COVID numbers are going down, only to be announced once a week now.
Exactly.
And happy hour is coming back.
Happy hour is coming back. Everybody's happy about that, of course.
And
activities. We do a shout out to all those people who are now feeling better. We are so thankful for that. If anybody's still under the weather, you're in our thoughts and prayers every single day.
And I have a special shout out to the maintenance department, who continued maintaining in spite of the COVID. And thank you, Johnny, for coming up to my apartment. And I have a cute picture.
I hear he was dressed.
He was dressed appropriately for the occasion.
Okay, good.
So thank you for that. Then we have another bit of news.
Mm-hmm.
You may have heard or not that our Michael is leaving us. He's going to Lantana.
Yeah.
In the same position.
Along with Oscar, who is also leaving for Lantana.
Yes.
And we're going to miss them both.
We are.
Terribly.
It won't be quite the same, will it?
It's not quite the same,
anyway.
but we move on.
We do.
We move on.
So we wish them both a lot of good luck.
Yeah.
And Michael will be with us for a while yet. So.
Absolutely. He'll be back and forth, I'm sure. Now, friends helping friends.
Yes, we've received a request from Carol Uris, who again is working now with Bonnie at the Jewish Food Bank.
Yes.
And she is asking for personal care items, shampoos and soaps and toothpaste and cleaning products.
These are things that you can't buy with food stamps.
Right.
So it's
and she
necessary.
wants also non-perishable food, which she can exchange with other food banks.
Well, that's the food does not have to be kosher.
Right.
They have such a network of food banks that it's so wonderful. They share. And they trade. Two other things that they've done in the recent weeks that we haven't mentioned before is number one, filling up book bags for special needs students at North Miami High School. They had many of those go out. And the police were here yesterday to pick up clothing, neatly folded clothing for the homeless. So that's wonderful. Our relationship with the police department continues to grow, and we really appreciate
One
that.
of these days, we're invited over to do the shooting.
Okay, well, I'm not much of a shooter, so.
Well, we're going to teach you how to do it.
A blind person shooting, it's nothing better than that.
Well, that would be a challenge for them, but I bet they can do it.
I bet so.
Yeah. Anyway, we want to wish a happy birthday to Irene Eng and Joe Bunsen.
Yes, and we have no new move-ins this week.
None this week.
But God knows we've got some coming up. So we were happy about that. Happy birthday to everybody.
Yes, many more.
Now,
yes,
would you like to introduce our guest?
I would. This is our guest, Gladys Mizrahi. I'm going to read what she is. She's the president of Indigo Events. She's an author of an award-winning book, More or Less.
More wow.
Oh, that's it. More wow.
Less oops. It works.
We have had a few oops, have I not?
Yeah, we have.
Yes. So,
our share.
and she has many other accomplishments. So welcome to Alavi. We are
Thank
so
you.
happy to have you.
Very
I
much
am
so.
honored to be here.
But we understand that you started your career at a very young age. 15?
15.
Tell us a little bit about it.
I hated school.
Okay.
Oh,
All right. That's
That
okay.
was not me. And I overheard my headmaster one time when I went to take some papers that he said that they needed urgently to raise the funds for professional basketball and volleyball courts
Oh, wow.
because the school couldn't be involved in all the inter-school competitions. So I went up to him and I said, I'll help you. And he said, how are you going to do that? I have no idea. and immediately I said, okay, I'll dedicate my time to raising the funds, but I cannot come back to school because I'm going to be very busy raising the funds. So back and forth, we negotiated that if I raised the funds, I would graduate because I
Wow.
was graduating. That was my last year. And if I didn't raise the funds, I would stay behind. So
Okay.
I agreed to that, and then we started negotiating the grade. So I wanted an A. He said no way, so we compromised on a B.
That's a good thing.
Yep.
And how much money did you raise and how many
So-
people did you involve?
I was allowed to take some of the people from class from time to time, but nobody could know about it
Right.
because this was not like kosher.
Right.
So my parents never knew. I took the bus to school. As soon as I got there, I took a taxi and I went and did all the work. So at that time, I didn't know that it was going to evolve to what I was doing now. Many years ago, I sat with, so I decided to do a bingo.
A bingo.
A bingo and raise funds. So at that time, I was sitting with the president of the biggest airline in Colombia, Avianca, convincing him on why he needed to give me 2 free tickets to Cartagena.
This was going to be a prize.
That was going to be my prize. So
Okay.
my vision was a trip to Cartagena with hotel included, and I was like 15 years old in school uniform because I had to put my school uniform, and convincing him on why he needed to do that. Until he finally said, okay, you got it. So then I called the hotel. We used to go to Cartagena every year for vacation. I called the hotel and said, I have the 2 tickets, so now you're going to give me a week free. So I convinced them. So after that, I convinced the biggest jewelry store to give me a really nice piece of jewelry. So that's how I got the prize.
Wow. You started out
how much
big.
did you end up making?
I have no idea on the amount of money because I gave everything, like it was deposited everything to the school.
Right,
the
right. You had
ticket.
no.
I had no way of knowing the exact number.
Mhm.
I remember that when the bingo was promoted and everything, it wasn't the biggest hotel in Colombia. 1,500 people came.
Oh my gosh.
And it was started by the governor, so it was a big deal. Like my parents were like, "Did you do this?
This is
Like,
amazing.
how come? When?" So nobody knew why. Then I got from the teachers, "We don't know why you don't come to school. You have like a special thing." And I got bullied because I wasn't going to school, and of course there was the gossip that I had an affair with the headmaster. He was like 50 years older than me, but it doesn't matter.
You know.
And so the basketball courts were built.
And the volleyball
And you
courts.
got a grade.
I got a B, I graduated.
You graduated and you had more education in those few months, I'm sure,
And when
than
I
you could have
came-
had sitting in class.
As soon as I graduated, I came to Miami to UN.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, that year I was lost.
Oh, well, you
So I
might
had
have
to
been,
get
yes.
tutors and everything to put me up to date on what was going on. But yes, and 40 years later, I met with my friends back in school, and the first thing that when they saw me, they said, "Okay, what did you do when you didn't come to school. And I go, you see that gymnasium, you see the basketball courts? Okay, that was the business.
And ergo into Indigo
Yes.
events.
So tell us about that. And you've started this business.
No, at the beginning I came to UM and then I got married. That's another thing. I eloped.
Okay.
I'm a little disruptive. So I went back to Colombia and I started a business in the cosmetic industry.
Oh,
For 20 years. It was called Advanced Cosmetics. I had a beauty line of 44 products for 20 years.
now these products were made specifically
It was
for
made
you.
Specifically,
Wow.
yes.
Is it still going on?
It is, some of the products are still going on, and a little bit of gossip. We're in the process of doing all the paperwork to bring some here.
Oh,
Wow.
what kind of, what is
My
it, makeup?
dad used to be a very famous plastic surgeon, and he loved inventing creams.
Oh.
So some of that knowledge we're bringing back, and that is for the next one.
And
Okay.
let us-
I can
and
have these
that
We'll
clothes.
be happy to be.
We'll be happy to have you
yeah,
come back
try it.
and bring
So-
samples.
Yeah, bring
And I will bring samples.
Oh,
We're in the
absolutely.
process of getting all the paperwork
Yeah.
and everything to bring
Listen,
them here.
whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes
Yeah.
is right. Whatever it takes. But then you got to the United
So
States.
then I sold the company, and no, I went to work with a financial planning company, which was
Oh,
very serious for me. When the
Mhm.
market went down, I was like, no way. So I ended up doing events for them to promote the business. So
The
I was the
business.
first one to bring a fund manager.
oh,
Nobody had even talked to a fund manager
Mhm.
at that time. So that way we got new clients. And then I had to leave one day to another for security reasons. So I came here and I ended up opening a PR and event company with a partner. And we were doing great, but we had a different vision of what we wanted.
mm-hmm.
So we decided to part, and that's when I opened Indigo Events. It's going to be 18 years.
So
18
now,
years.
tell us exactly what you do, and then the intimacies of
And
it.
the intimacy.
Yes, I want to know.
She
I
wants
wanna
the
know.
gossip.
The gossip.
So what I do is a mix of events, and now I'm transitioning to more of the consulting
Mm-hmm.
instead of the planning. But I do everything from weddings to set up two people meetings. Like an example, there was a big real estate developer that needed a meeting with the president, and we made it happen. So that
Mhm.
was a two people meeting.
Hmm.
But
Wow.
it was a huge undertaking behind the scenes.
Absolutely.
I've done a festival in Aventura, Pangea World Festival, 10 years ago. And one of the inside stories of that is that the president of the Aventura Marketing Council and I got a con artist. And he deceived us on a lot of money.
No,
Oh, really?
a real life comma.
Real life
Oh my
con
goodness.
artist. And looking back, we go like, what did we do? Like, it was like in a movie when you know that
Suddenly.
the assailant was behind you and everybody knows and you don't know.
Mhm.
We were literally conned out of a lot, thousands
my
and thousands of
goodness.
dollars.
Really? And did you have any recourse? Were you able to?
We couldn't because we couldn't find him again. And I remember that there was a big university that we were pitching an event, and I called him and I said, don't give him the money, please. This is a con artist. Please don't give him that. And they gave him the money.
Honest to good.
They believed him instead of believing us.
Oh, for
And
goodness
then,
sakes.
so we don't know what happened, but that was, and it was an amazing festival.
But I was going to say, and you went on from
we
there.
Went, we
It
had
didn't
to go
scare
on.
you. Right.
We had to go on and make up for it after, but that was one of the big oops.
One of the oops. One of the
big
oops.
oops.
And
The thing is, you
How
turn your
effective.
oops into wows.
Yes.
That's the most
We were
important
able to
thing.
turn it
Are
into
you
that.
mostly able to do that? I mean, of the oops? Wow.
Mostly able. A lot of the times I've been called in to put out fires because people think that doing an event is very easy.
Yeah,
And
and
just
it is,
think
and
that
it's
it's calling a caterer, putting a nice tablecloth, a very nice centerpiece, and the event
and
is on.
standing in the back,
But
right? Yeah.
it's really not like that. Another nice oops. Well,
You know,
I had a speaker. I was doing an event for the biggest newspaper in Colombia. It was called The Evolution of Events. So this was a white national speaker that I wanted to take to Colombia. And in her contract, she specified that it was two things, that she needed a feather pillow and that she could order room service, whatever she wants. So the feather pillow was not a problem. The room service was a problem because one of the oops of another event was that we brought in a celebrity and she brought in all her family and had massages, champagne, caviar, and left us with a $17,000 bill
oh,
that it took us months to get back. We negotiated with the hotel, her representatives. Social media was starting to come out at that time, so we said, okay, you want all this in social media?
right.
So they paid, the hotel gave them a discount, but that was a big loss.
That
So the pillow, we got into Colombia and they told me that they didn't have
a feather
a
pillow.
feather pillow. So I go, okay, let's go and buy one. So we went and buy one, and the next day she woke up and said, the pillow is too hard. The feather pillow is too hard, and said, okay, maybe the goose here are not.
Are not
I
as
fluffy.
feather.
I am so sorry. So she didn't want to speak.
Oh, you're
Oh,
kidding.
yeah.
Because she said that her neck was hurting and she didn't want to speak. So I took out the contract and we went back and forth. And and I said, okay, it's up to you, because if you don't speak, I have to get up and actually do the speaking for
Exactly.
you. So it's gonna be either you or me. And this is in the big newspaper. So I finally convinced her.
You convinced her.
But that was a scary one.
Now, I was going to
Oh,
say, you've had some wows also, though, in your career. And I know you've done many women's organizations that you belong to. You're a former city commissioner
I'm a former
in Aventura, but you have a new project now called The Power of the Heels.
Yes, tell us about that.
Yes.
The Power of the Heels actually started when somebody asked me the same question, and I went back on how did it really start.
Mm-hmm.
When I was little, I told you my father was a famous plastic surgeon.
Yes.
My mother used to work with him. And we were having breakfast, and remember the columns that people write asking for help?
Oh, the
Yes,
Dear Abby.
absolutely.
Yeah,
The Dear Abbeys.
Yes.
So my mother read that a little girl, she said that she was bullied in school because of her nose, that she was called all kinds of names, and that she wanted to raise funds to have an operation.
Yeah.
She didn't want to go back to school. And so my mother asked my father, and this was while we were having breakfast, she asked my father, will you do the surgery? And he said yes, and continue having, will you do the
Breakfast.
surgery for free? And my mother said, okay, so I'll contact and I'll get the money for the hospital. That was it. I went to school like normal because I knew that they did a lot of that. We used to get people bringing chickens and eggs and fruits out of appreciation of what he did. And that was it. So the next Mother's Day, there was a bouquet of roses that I have never seen in my life. Like, it was huge. And my brother and sister were, how could you? You didn't tell us. I go, I didn't do anything. This is not for me. And I remember our bouquet of roses was this big. So we took the card and we saw that it was this little girl
Honest.
that sent my mother
Dozens
roses.
of roses.
No, dozens and dozens.
Dozens
In
and dozens.
appreciation of what she did and how her life changed.
Isn't that
Wow.
wonderful?
And from that day on, every Mother's Day, she sang my mother.
Honest to
Roses.
goodness.
Wow.
Isn't that wonderful?
And I remember when my mom passed away, there was a lady that said, "You don't know me, but your mom changed my life."
Oh, so you
Without
met her.
ever- I met her, but there were so many people that I tried to look for her, and now I don't know her name. I know that she had a brilliant career.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was either she was a lawyer or a TV presenter, something. But I remember the feeling of changing someone's life. And that's how the power of the heel started.
And
So
so
you mentor young people.
So I
young women.
mentor young women.
Uh-huh.
I call them the Indigo Girls.
okay,
Because I
the Indigo
mentored
Girls.
Them. I mentored girls to open their business,
Mm-hmm.
to go into the event business. They all call me back and keep me posted on what they're doing. And now it became a nonprofit.
I was going to
We
say, it
do
is a
events.
nonprofit.
Yes,
Yeah.
we do events. We have a program called the Loving Me More for underprivileged girls that I found that there was a gap in school and real life that they don't teach them. Like personal branding, how do you present yourself?
Mm-hmm.
How to fill out a resume, how to get an internship. Financial education, which is the biggest thing.
Mm-hmm.
They don't even know what a checkbook is. They don't know what opening a bank account.
Mm.
But now they do.
Now they do.
Have a way of learning.
And we have an amazing partnership with the Banesco USA. They are giving the girls, whoever wants to open a bank account, no fees, no any kind of fees.
Right?
They're
It's
waiving
amazing,
those
isn't it?
fees.
Oh, a
Wonderful.
way of learning.
Yes,
A way
it's
of learning.
terrific.
So it's really, it's been very rewarding.
It's wonderful how all the things you've learned and gone through all these experiences, good and bad, you've turned around and helped other people, and it's amazing. It's good.
It's a life
Hooray
calling.
for women.
It's a life calling.
Yes, it is.
For sure.
Yeah.
Because if you empower women, you empower the whole community.
That's it. And I don't wear heels. So
Neither do I.
I was
But
gonna
I think we could be empowered.
But you have led an amazing
Yeah.
life, and you continue to go forward.
And you have grandchildren.
I have 2 kids and I have 5 amazing grandchildren
That's wonderful. That is wonderful.
that I enjoy a lot.
It shows, and it shows. We thank you so much for coming
We
by
loved
today.
it.
We
Stay-
loved every minute of it.
Stay with us, and you'll learn what's going on
Absolutely,
here
absolutely.
Yeah.
You'll learn what's happening at the
Yes.
V.
as we come to life.
As
Yes. So tomorrow night is dinner at Kabaji. Oh,
Kebab G.
Kebab. I'm the one that was telling
I
you.
was going to say you
And
were
now you're
teaching
telling
me. Yes,
Okay, I
Kebab
think we
G.
leave at 5:30.
Leave at 5:30, and I understand the lamb shank or the lamb chops are
My
delicious.
Oh.
grandson's favorite restaurant.
Is it really?
No.
Is
What
it really?
Is
Is
it
it?
the lamb chops?
The beef skewers and the almond rice.
Okay.
Okay,
And the
there you go. You got recommendations right
Right
from
there.
here.
The fattoush salad is the best.
Okay.
Oh, all right, that's the fattoush salad.
Okay.
Okay. Then we have volunteers are needed for the garden because
Yes.
Carol Ignasic is leaving.
Carol Ignatius was in charge of our garden beds that we have, where we have basil and rosemary
And I think we now
thyme.
have on wheels.
It's now on wheels, so I don't know if you can take it over to the hose, or the hose
I
will
don't
come
know.
to it. but-
I just go look. I'm not a gardener out there.
I was going to say, I have a black thumb, but I did help water. And I'm
That's
sure
good.
that we're looking for someone now that will put together a group so that every day somebody may have a responsibility of watering. And it's not falling on just one person. So come volunteer.
Yeah.
Come volunteer.
And the Flickr, I'm sorry, the
Flick-
Flycra.
Flycra.
Who's Flicker?
Thick as a horse.
Oh, the horse. Oh, all right. So the FLICRA meeting has
Yes.
been postponed to a later date.
Yes, it has. But it's a very important meeting, and we will let you know when it's happening again.
Okay, and talk about the theater group.
The theater group, we met yesterday. Not a lot of people came out, but I think a lot of people didn't even know it was happening. We will promote it much better the next time. Everyone is invited to attend. It is just a group of people. It's a club, and it's unauthorized. It's just a group of people who want to get together and make some things happen. Events like music and opera, theater, anything that might interest you. Come to us with it, and let us know. We need a lead time, at least a month or two, so that we can organize things. But come to us with events that you think people would enjoy, and we'll try to get the bus to take us there.
It sounds so good. And
It
is
will be
open
good.
to anyone. who wants
Open
come.
to everyone,
Yes.
everyone, for
The
sure.
entertainment for this Saturday night is going to be announced.
Yeah.
And again, the bulletin board, remember the bulletin board?
Do I remember
That
the
I told
bulletin
you
board?
not to thank?
Yes.
Well, it's still not done, so there are no thanks.
Okay. So no thank you yet,
No.
but hopefully soon.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I didn't get that feeling. I don't know. I think we're going to be doing this for several weeks.
Okay. We'll keep mentioning it though.
And then I don't have the date, but Marcel Rosa is coming back.
Yes, he's coming in September
Is that one?
sometime.
He's very good.
So we don't have an
He's
exact
darling
date on
voice.
that, but he's a wonderful performer.
Yes,
So we look
it's
forward to that.
And
And I think that's just
it.
about it. It was a
Thank you.
darn good show.
Yeah, thank you so much. We loved having you. We want you to come back.
Yeah,
More
absolutely.
stories.
Well, she's got more stories.
Yeah, I know. And
So
did we show the book?
we did show the book
Okay.
once, but we both
So
got a
again,
copy. Thank you
yes,
very
thank
much,
you for
Gladys,
that.
for this. Again, it is more wow and less
Less oops. And we know the oops.
We do know the oops.
Thank you for watching us. We'll see you soon.
Okay, see you
Bye.
next week. Bye-bye.
For the news at 5:90, turn to Susan and Sherry. A la vie at the V.